Hi traders, Gavin McMaster here from Options Trading IQ, doing a video collaboration with Barchart. Just before I start, quick reminder that everything discussed is for educational purposes only and is general in nature and does not take into account your personal circumstances. So what I'm going to show you today is how I use Barchart to find option trade ideas. It's one of my favorite tools. It's got lots of great scanners. So let's go and jump in and take a look. First thing I usually do is go into the stock screener here, and I want to search for stocks that have either high or low implied volatility. So I've got a saved scanner here set up. I like to screen for total options volume greater than 20,000. You could drop that down a little bit if you like, but that helps to filter out any small capped stocks that don't really have a very active options market. So we want to be looking for highly liquid options. Another way to do that is to look for stocks with a market cap above 40 billion. Again, you could drop that down a little bit if you like, but I find that starts to filter out some of those smaller companies that we're not really interested in. And the last one is an IV percentile above 70%. So if we run that screener, you can see here filtered by market cap, we've got some big names: Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Tesla, Facebook. So that's a good start for me in terms of looking at stocks that have abnormally high implied volatility compared to their recent history. So I've got IV percentile, I've got IV rank, and usually want to try and find something that's got high percentile and high rank. There's slight differences in the calculations, but generally if you're getting a stock with a high IV percentile and a high IV rank, it can mean that the options are a little bit overpriced compared to what they've been historically. It can be a good time to look at option selling strategies like iron condors and credit spreads. So we can see here Amazon and Tesla are two good examples. We have our Barchart buy or sell signal as well, which is quite handy if we want to turn it into a directional trade. And I like to look at this earnings date as well, because we want to try and avoid stocks that have earnings coming up. So we can see here Tesla reported about a month ago, so it should be another 2 months before they start to report again. So it means any options that we're going to trade with a 1 to 2 month expiration shouldn't have any earnings risk unless they pre-announce anything. So that's a really good place to start, trying to find some stocks of interest that we might want to look at particular option strategies. Then we can go into options, and we can use some of our screeners. So here we've got our credit and debit spreads, which are very popular, and condors as well, straddles, butterflies, that sort of thing. So let's say I want to do a bull put spread. Again, you can set up your defaults here and save these as particular screeners. I've got here most recent earnings date, but again, we can get rid of that if we already know what stocks we're looking for. Market cap 20 billion or 40 billion, whichever you like. Days to expiration, I like to change this from 0 to 15 as a minimum. Typically, just me personally, I want to avoid those sort of short-term options. And then we've got some volume and open interest filters, again, just to make sure we're looking at the most liquid options. I gotta sometimes drop this down a little bit. I'm not as concerned about volume and open interest on particular stocks. I know if I'm trading a large cap stock, the volume open interest is going to be pretty good. Otherwise, pretty much just the defaults there. And we can see our results coming up now. So here we've got high probability trades. We might want to change. This is quite a low max profit, so I think there might be something slightly off in the filter here. So I've just changed this moneyness parameter to be from 0 to negative 10% out of the money, which should give us some better results. So you can see here some better looking max profit. We've got Tesla, which was showing up on our high implied volatility screener earlier. So that's a potential trade idea. I think it was a sell signal at the moment, 50% sell. So may even want to look at a bear call spread instead of a bull put spread. Bearish credit spread. So we can go in here, and one thing we can actually do, change that to 15 again. We can add a symbol And we can just look for Tesla bear call spreads. And we'll just check some of our other parameters. Leave that as the default for now. And let's change our volume and open interest again. So there we have some decent results. We're getting, some of these are slightly in the money, so we might want to change that to out of the money. Anything from 0 to 10% out of the money. There we go, that looks a little better. So we can see with Tesla trading at 724, we could sell the 725 call, buy the 750 call. So that's 25 points wide. Receives a credit of $11.80 or $1,180. And the max loss is the 25 minus the premium received, which is our $13.20. So that gives us a max profit potential of about 89% with a 53% probability. So that's a really nice way to find some trade ideas. You can scroll down the list. Maybe you'd like something that's slightly lower probability, or you could sort by probability, slightly higher probability. So that's our max, our highest probability bear call spread that's showing up, nearly 70% probability, because it's quite far out of the money at 795, the short strike. And it's also quite wide. So we might want to look for something that's a little bit more narrow. So you can play around with those and see, try and find something that you like. But that's a great way to find trade ideas using Barchart. Another way we could look to trade Tesla would be with an iron condor. So again, we could come in here, we could go into our filter, we'll add symbol. Change our volume and open interest. And we'll make sure everything's out of the money again. And there we go. So now we have our top iron condor result filtered by probability. So we're selling the 675 put, buying the 600 put. Again, that's quite wide. We could look to bring that in a bit narrower. And then on the call side, selling the 750 call, buying the 825 call. So that'll give us break-even prices of 635.20 on the downside and 789.80 on the upside. Receiving about 39.80 or $3,980 in credit. So that's the premium that we're going to receive, which is also the maximum profit. The maximum loss we can calculate by taking the difference in the strike prices, which is 75, and subtracting the premium received. So that gives us the 35.20 for a total profit percentage of 113%. And as I said, probability of around 46%. Some other areas of interest is the market pulse. So one of the scans I like to look for is the options with the highest change in open interest. And we can see some of the smaller cap stocks showing up here, but it might give us some insight into where the money's flowing, and it can provide good opportunities for trading. So Nikola, JD, Teva. So there's some action in the calls on Nikola, call options on Teva as well. Big changes in open interest, so that can potentially mean some bullish option flow. You know, we don't quite know. It could be people closing out previous bullish trades, or doing spread trades as well. But it can give us a good idea of how to find some ideas as well where there's lots of action going on in the options market. And that's a quick insight into some of the ways that I use Barchart to find option trading ideas. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to check out optionstradingiq.com, lots of educational articles there. And if you've got any questions, you can reach out to me on Twitter as well. All right, best of luck with your trading, and I'll talk to you soon.